What are the most harmful foods that people constantly eat?
No question, it's seed oils. And seed oils, so canola, sunflower, safflower, rapeseed, palm kernel oil, vegetable oils. And the reason for this is that it's not the plant. Okay, it's the distance from the plant to the table. When you put a canola plant or a rapeseed, same thing, into a commercial press, it comes out gummy, and you degum it with hexane, which is a known neurotoxin. Then you take that neurotoxin degummed oil and you heat it to 405 degrees and you turn it rancid. So it's putrefied and now it smells. And you need to deodorize it with sodium hydroxide, which is a very powerful carcinogen. And then you sometimes bleach it before you bottle it and put it on the shelf. You ever notice when you go down the aisle in a shelf in a grocery store, and it's all the vegetable oils, Wesson oil, vegetable oils, they're all exactly the same color, that beautiful, perfect yellow color. That would never happen if you pressed 1,000 plants and turned it into oil. You would not get that level of consistency. That's chemically induced. And then they put a heart healthy label on it. These are pro-inflammatory. They cause a massive amount of inflammation in the body. So what are the oils you can use in your life? Well, in your kitchen, you need 5 oils. You need a grass-fed butter, ghee butter, grass-fed tallow, coconut oil, and an olive oil. Use the olive oil at room temperature. Use the others to saute and cook your foods. They won't denature at high temperatures. They have high smoke points, and you're done. You'd be shocked where all these seed oils are creeping into the diet. So if I had to pick one, that would be it.
And what's the biggest healthy food that's actually harmful?
Processed yogurt, no question. I mean, people.
Is that when they remove the fats out of it? So it's like fat-free
Are we talking
yogurt?
like Greek yogurt, or what are we talking about?
Yeah. So whole fat Greek yogurt's great. Raw A2 yogurt is amazing for you. But what we do is we take the yogurt, and we anytime you see a yogurt that says artificial fruit flavors or natural fruit flavors, that's code word for ain't got no fruit. Okay, right. So if it says artificial, natural blueberry flavor, quick way of saying no blueberries are in here, right? So what happens is these flavorings are bactericidal. So you're eating the yogurt to get the probiotics, but the flavoring killed all the bacteria. So there's no probiotics in there, first of all. Then you strip the fat out of it, and then you add processed ingredients, like a lot of them have high fructose corn syrup, natural flavors, natural colors. So the health benefit you think from getting the probiotic in there is gone, and you've added all of these processed ingredients to it. Whole fat Greek yogurt is amazing. Take whole fat Greek yogurt, add a fistful of blueberries, and take a teaspoon or teaspoon and a half of monk fruit and mix it up. It will be as good as any processed yogurt. It's like your new Ben and Jerry's, and it's really, really good for you. And you're keeping it in its whole form. What's really interesting is sometimes when you take the little, tear off packs of processed yogurt, which are terrible for you, and you think, well, it's less expensive. But if you buy Greek yogurt in a quart and buy a basket of organic blueberries or raspberries or blackberries, and you buy some monk fruit in a raw, and you mix those 3 things, per serving, it's a lot less expensive than the processed garbage, and it will really serve your cellular biology.
What about the foods that cause anxiety and stress?
So things that cause anxiety are, if you have anxiety and you're listening to this podcast, please do this for 7 days. This will materially change your life. Get all of the fortified or enriched foods out of your diet for 7 days. The majority of people that are suffering from anxiety are not suffering from anxiety. And you can prove this by asking them the question, if they've had it on and off throughout their lifetime, they will say yes. And ask them if they can point to the specific trigger that causes it. They will say no. And the reason why that's important is because it shows you that it's not coming from their outside environment, it's coming from their inside environment. These are people that can feel the presence of a fear without the presence of a fear. So get folic acid out of your diet for a week, supplement with something called methylfolate, and get on a good B complex.
And folic acid is just like enriched flour, enriched wheat, enriched grains and stuff like that.
Anything enriched.
Is there a difference between making an oatmeal? Let's say you just have some oats, you have some peanut butter, you have some water, and you have a banana, versus putting it all in a blender and making a smoothie?
No, there's no real difference. I actually put out a video years ago that said that blending fruits increased their glycemic profile, meaning it actually hit your blood sugar faster
But isn't that not desirable?
That's not desirable, but it's also not true. And I actually put out a video saying it was true because I'd read an article, but I wasn't smart enough to actually go and look at but plenty of people crawled out of the woodwork and just slaughtered me for it. But rightfully so. I mean, I shouldn't be putting out things that I haven't, thoroughly examined. So I took the hit on that one. I try to correct the record as much as I can. But blending fruits and eating them, there's not much of a difference, other than you're going to probably reduce the amount of fiber. But in terms of the hit to your blood sugar, there's no difference. Quickly, I also am not a big fan of peanut butter. Peanuts are not nuts. Peanuts are legumes. They're seeds. They're one of the highest in aflatoxins that we know of. If you've ever actually uncracked a peanut shell and you've taken the peanut out and you feel that like soft, fuzzy little layer in there behind the peanut, okay, that's a mycotoxin. It's mold. So very, very high in molds. I would prefer that you eat other whole nuts like macadamias, pistachios, walnuts, those kinds of things.
What kind of butter could you have? Could you have like almond butter?
Almond butters, nut
almond
butters.
butter.
Mm-hmm. True nut butters, true almond butters.
That's interesting. I feel like everyone kind of heard somewhere in the timeline of their life that blending food just makes it less healthy. And then I just took it and ran with it. And so I try not to do that.
I actually ran with it increasing the impact on your blood sugar for a while. And then, I started getting slaughtered for it online. And then I actually started going down the rabbit hole of the research, and it's not true that, the funny thing was the article was very adamant about it that I read. And then it just inherently made sense to me. Well, if you take a banana and you
that's what I was
liquefy
thinking.
it, it's liquid. And so that makes sense. And so I started talking about it, and it actually turns out that that's not the case.
But before we get into that, men, real talk for a second, we are all afraid of losing our hair. And whether that's a receding hairline, thinning at the crown, or just thinning in general, the fear is there. But fortunately, there is a solution, and that would be our sponsor, Hims Hair Loss Solutions, where you could join hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back.
Hims offers a 100% online process that provides access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch, making treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted treatment options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months.
And if swallowing pills is a challenge for you, no problem at all, because Hims also has a serum, spray, and chewable options.
The process is simple and it's 100% online. Just answer a few questions and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment will be sent directly to your door.
So guys, start your absolutely free online visit today at hims.com/ICH.
That's HIMS.com/ICH for your personalized hair loss treatment options, or you could click the link down below in the description. HIMS.com/ICH.
Results vary. Based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil, prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Thank you to Hims for sponsoring this episode, and back to the podcast.